Good evening. Let's stand and worship together. This might be a little newer song, but let's just praise Jesus together. See the light breaking through all the lives with the truth. Hear the sound of the wind. Let the roar of heaven begin. Can't stay silent, can't stay still when you show up in power, glory revealed. No, I can't stay silent, can't stay still when I feel the fire, feel the ground shake. Heaven invade, heaven invade. There's freedom in this place. Every heart awakened, everything is changing now. Heaven invade. Man, all the pressure must end, all the shame, fear, run away. You're here. Can't stay silent, can't stay still when you show up in power, glory revealed. No, I can't stay silent, can't stay still when I feel the fire, feel the ground shake. Heaven invade, heaven invade. There's freedom in this place. Every heart awakened, everything is changing now. Heaven invade. My heart starts to race. I can't contain the feeling of joy. Being in your presence, I can't help but dance. I can't help but sing, and I don't really care what anyone thinks. My heart starts to race. I can't contain the feeling of joy. Being in your presence, I can't help but dance. I can't help but sing, and I don't really care what anyone thinks. Heaven invade, heaven invade. There's freedom in this place. Every heart awakened, everything is changing now. Heaven invade, heaven invade. There's freedom in this place. Every heart awakened, everything is changing now. Heaven invade. Let's stay and worship together. We don't have to fear. There's nothing that we need to fear. When darkness tries to roll over my bones, when sorrow comes to steal the joy I own, when brokenness and pain is all I know, I won't be shaken. I won't be shaken. 'Cause my fear doesn't stand a chance. Shame no longer has a place to hide. And I am not a captive to the lies. I'm not afraid to leave my past behind. No, I won't be shaken. I won't be shaken. 'Cause my fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. When standing in your love, God. Sing it, there's power. There's power that can break off every chain. There's power that can empty out a grave. There's resurrection power that can save. There's power in your name. Power in your name. There's power that can break off every chain. There's power that can empty out a grave. There's resurrection power that can save. There's power in your name. Power in your name. My fear in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. My fear doesn't stand a chance when I stand in your love. Standing in your love. Yes, we are standing in his love. Our fear doesn't stand a chance. I was thinking about our sermon series, and we're in Epic, right? And I was thinking of all the Bible stories that I learned when I grew up. And I was thinking, when this song, there's fear doesn't stand a chance. I was thinking of Daniel and how even when he was possibly going to be thrown in the lion's den, he threw open his windows just like he always had, and he prayed. He wasn't afraid. I know I don't think I would be quite that brave, but I sure want to be. So I sing this song over myself, and I sing it for God to build up that strength in me so that I don't have to fear. We have a great God who is always there for us. Let's continue singing to him how he's our great, good God, how he's the king of our heart, and he's the shelter where we can hide when we are afraid. We love you, God. Let the king of my heart be the mountain where I run, the fountain I drink from. Oh, he is my song. Let the king of my heart be the shadow where I hide, the ransom for my life. Oh, he is my song. For you are good, you're good. Oh, 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 let the king of my heart be the way you're never gonna let me down. You're never gonna let us down, no. You're never gonna let us down. You're never gonna let me down, no. You're never gonna let me down. Do you believe it? You're never gonna let me down. You're never gonna let me down. 'Cause you are good. You're good. You are good. You're good. Oh, you are good. You're good. Oh, you are good. You're good. Oh, you're never gonna let me down. No, 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 no. You're never gonna let me down. You're never gonna let me down. You are good, good. Oh, you are good. You're good. Oh.
Last week, we dissected a truly historic, epic dream of Daryl that pointed us to the accounts of Daniel and the lion's den, which pointed us to the truth that faith is strengthened with courage. This week, we find Daryl taking an afternoon nap while Martin sets up the dinner table. Let's see what dreams may come from this week's Once Upon a Dinner Table.
On top of spaghetti, all covered with cheese, I lost my poor meatball when somebody sneezed.
Dry fruity rocks.
It rolled off the table and onto the floor. I lost my poor meatball. It rolled out of the door.
Oh, you can't be my father! I mean, hey, what's the haps, bro?
You were totally like screaming in your sleep. And anyways, isn't it kind of late to be taking a nap?
I hardly ever talk or scream in my sleep, but I have been known to sleepwalk. Taped on the walls around you are symbols that represent talking in your sleep, sleepwalking, and sleeping soundly. Walk to the wall that best represents how you sleep, and if you're joining us online, let us know in the chat. There's more sleepwalkers than I expected. Back to Daryl.
I have to take a nap so late in the day to maintain my bedtime routine of going to bed no later than 1 a.m. Sometimes 1:30, but mostly no later than 1. All right, I have a reputation to uphold.
Brother.
Wait, were you singing about meatballs?
No.
Yes, he was.
You were having a nightmare.
No, it was actually more like a sci-fi action adventure dream, all right? Kind of epic, rather like in a Milky Way galaxy or, somewhere else. I mean, it might be a little scary for you because it involves milk, and I know you hate milk. I know that it gives you the runs. Do you want to hear my dream?
I mean, not particularly. I have to finish getting ready for dinner. I got some work to do. I gotta clean my room. I have to wash my hair. I have to wash the dog's hair. I gotta do the laundry.
Yeah, you're overwhelmed. You need to hear this dream though, all right? It might help you calm down. It might help you chillax a little.
I kind of doubt that.
Just trust me. It sounds like you're having an overwhelming night planned for you, all right? But maybe God has something else planned for you. And you know what? Faith believes God has a plan, all right? Now, I learned that from my dream, and I think part of God's plan for you is to listen to my dream.
Fine, but if this dream cuts into any of my sleep time, you're going to have to wash the dog.
Martin has seemed to take on more than he can handle. Are there times in your life that you feel overwhelmed with tasks?
All right, so my dream takes place in a Milky Way galaxy, somewhere else, a different Milky Way, all right? It's worlds away, all right? Now, the League of Milk Mobs, they've taken over planet Gallon, leaving me and everyone else I knew milkless. My pal Tony and me, or you know Tony from work, Tony and me, we were on the search for milk for our cereal bowls. The bowls were dry, unfortunately. We had heard of 7 breakfast wise guys on the planet of charms. So Tony and I, we picked them up, and they too held bowls of dry cereal. They were in search of milk, like all of us. Rumors of planet Gallon and how their rivers flowed with milk and more milk. These rumors had circulated the galaxy. So that's where we're headed, with a plan to storm the planet and take all their milk. At least that's what we thought. All right, so there I was, sitting in my spaceship, the SS Magically Delicious, and I had planet Gallon in sight, all right? It's like a milk planet, but it's got rings around it. And my co-pilot, he was a tiger, he was sitting behind me, and he says, "That's great! I'll alert the 7 breakfast wise guys."
The 7 breakfast wise guys?
Yeah, they have like bowls of dry cereal on top of their heads worn like hats, and they were like super wise. All right, so then one of the wise guys, he was a leprechaun, he yelled, "We shall take the planet by force, and our cereal will never be dry again, and we shall share our milk with the whole universe." But then this voice appeared out of nowhere, okay?
This is taking way too long.
Will you pipe down, all right? I'm getting to some really cool stuff here. All right, so then, like I said, this ethereal voice appeared, all right?
Daryl, Tony, and Breakfast Wise Guys. That's right, everyone. I finally get a role in one of these dreams. You will not be taking Planet Gallon by force. Instead, if you want the milk, you will fly around the planet once for 6 days. And on the 7th day, you will fly around the planet 7 times. And you wise breakfast guys will bang cereal spoons together as you fly around. Once you go around 7 times making that noise, the planet will explode, filling your bowls. And everyone who searches to no longer have dry cereal.
So then I said, like, how do we know your plan will work?
Because Faith believes God has a plan, and God most totally has a plan for your dry cereal.
And so with that, we did exactly as the manly, strong voice said.
Why, thank you.
One time around Planet Gallon, ha ha ha. Two times, ha ha ha. Three times around Planet Gallon, ha ha ha. Four times, ha ha ha. Five times around Planet Gallon, ha ha ha. Six times around Planet Gallon, ha ha ha. Seven times around Planet Gallon, ha ha ha.
All right, so the 7th day had finally come, all right? We were all tingly with cereal excitement, knowing that today would be the day that our cereals would no longer be dry. And so we began making noise by banging our spoons together. There was much rejoicing as we all wondered in awe at how God's plan worked wonderfully. Our faith believed God had a plan. And then we all ate cereal with milk to our heart's content. Awesome, right?
I'm not sure if I'd say it was awesome or just a sci-fi movie Bible ripoff.
Look, I know for a fact that there are no spaceships in the Bible, all right?
No, but there is a story of Joshua and the walls of Jericho. God told Joshua and the Israelites that he gave the city of Jericho to them. God had the plan for them that they would march around the city for 7 days. Once the first 6 days, and then on the 7th day, 7 priests would blow the ram's horns as they marched around it 7 times. After they did that, the walls fell down and God gave them that city.
I mean, I guess I can kind of see how one might think my epic dream is similar to that story.
Well, you had one thing right.
What's that?
I did need to hear that dream because it reminded me that faith believes that God has a plan. And I'm fairly certain that being stressed and stretched too thin is not God's plan for me tonight. So I think I'll cut some things out, starting with not making dinner.
Wait, what are we gonna eat then?
I'm gonna keep it simple, no big pasta dinner. Instead, we're gonna have a cereal night.
Excellent.
I'll make mine with almond milk though, cause dairy really does give me the runs.
And with a strange dream and dinner lesson under their belt, Martin and Daryl began to eat breakfast cereal for dinner, thinking about how Faith believes God has a plan. For Martin, that was for him not to take on so much and to not be stressed out. This week, think about how God has a plan for you. Maybe it is similar to what Martin experienced, or maybe it is something completely different. Remember, it was by faith that the people of Israel marched around Jericho for 7 days, and the walls came crashing down. Hebrews 11:30. Have an epic week, and join us next week for one spooky Once Upon a Midnight snack. Ta-ta for now.
Hey, welcome back to our series of Epic, where we're talking about epic stories of faith throughout the entire Bible. And today we are continuing on that same path. So I hope you've been getting a lot out of this series, because I know I have personally, and I'm really excited to continue on this conversation. Today, our one thing is this: faith believes that God has a plan. Say that with me for a second. Faith believes God has a plan. One more time, and it's on the screen if you're not remembering what I'm saying. Faith believes God has a plan. So before we move on, I want to revisit the series key verse, the thing that we've been looking at every single week. It comes from Hebrews, if you remember, one of the books of the New Testament that really talks about building blocks of faith and ways that we navigate through life. And it is impossible to please God without faith. Anyone who wants to come to him must believe that God exists and that he rewards those who sincerely seek him. Hebrews 11, verse 6. So let's look at an example of God's plan in action in the Bible. And the story of the walls of Jericho, as told in Joshua chapter 6, demonstrates that if we have faith in God and his plans, then we will be rewarded. Now, in the story, Joshua is instructed by God to take his army and destroy Jericho, one of the cities that was in their promised land. However, Jericho has tremendous walls that surrounded and protected the city that couldn't be overtaken by his army. Joshua and the Israeli army were faced with trying to conquer the city, but not sure how to get through the walls. And it was a daunting challenge, but God tells them his plan. And it's weird. And so this is what it says in the book of Joshua. March around the town once a day for 6 days. On the seventh day, march around the town 7 times. When you hear the priests give one long blast on the ram's horn, have all the people shout as loud as they can. Then the walls of the town will collapse. That's Joshua chapter 6, verses 3 through 4. That's weird, right? I mean, we look at that and us thinking from a humanistic perspective, we're like, what? I'm gonna march around this city and then it's all of a sudden going to be destroyed. See, Joshua was given this plan. God told him directly what to do. And the only reason he was given that plan is because he continually sought after God and had a relationship with him and listened to what God was doing in his life. So Joshua could have followed his own plan, but he had faith in God's plan. Faith believes God has a plan. I want you to say that with me one more time. Faith believes God has a plan. So next time you're planning something for your life, pray on it. Think about how it fits into God's plan for you. Talk with those you trust and respect. And it may take time for God's plan to work, but it's going to be better than anything that you can think of. So we search for God's plan and we start obeying God's plan. And you're going to find that when you do this, what you enter into is going to be far more successful. You'll be far more accomplished and feel like you're being blessed, and you will be blessed in those moments because we are obeying God's plan for our lives. And faith believes that God has a plan.